Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learning with Law. My name is Teacher Lauren. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about what to do when you first signed your contract with VIPKID. So you just signed your contract with VIPKID. Now what? What do you do from this point on? It might seem a little bit overwhelming with the teacher platform, with the phone app. If you're using an iPad, you're using an app on there as well. So I decided to make a video that kind of breaks it down a little bit for you guys to really understand what you should be doing in your first few hours, days, weeks with VIPKID. So I'm going to go over a few things that helped me along my journey, and hopefully I can help you as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so that you'll be notified every time I create a new video. If this video is helpful for you, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Okay, so you just signed your contract. Now what do you do? Well, obviously the first thing to do would be to open your time slots. So this is something that when I first started, I was so eager to do. I logged right on the computer, made sure I clicked on the button at the top to unlock my class, hit those slots to open them, and I wasn't able to open my time slots. I was super confused. I didn't know what was going on, but I realized in talking to my sponsor that apparently after you sign your contract, it might take a day or two for that contract to actually kick in. So make sure you're looking at the date on your contract to make sure that, there's not a glitch in the system. It's just when your contract will be official. Honestly, I don't think it took more than a day for me to be able to open up those time slots. So just be aware that that is a factor as well. But once you're ready to open those time slots, you go into your teacher portal, make sure that you go to your bookings tab, and underneath there, you will see your schedule of classes. So you are able to then go in and open up the time slots that you find are most convenient for you and when you want to book your classes. Go in and it's going to show you the classes that are hot, or what we call peak or peak times. I know it's a little confusing. So if it's a peak time, that means it's a hot time slot. There are students that are looking for those particular time slots. If it's a peak time slot, it's going to say hot in orange, and that means the likelihood of you getting booked during those times are a lot greater. So you want to make sure that you're opening those up if they are available to you. And then you also have the option of booking short notice classes. Short notice classes are my favorite. I got a ton of short notice classes in the beginning. So what does that mean? That means that you are opening a time slot and you're clicking on that short notice button, which allows you to be booked within 24 hours of that class time. So if you have, let's say it's Monday and you're opening up time slots for Tuesday, it's going to be within that 24-hour window. So you'll get an extra $2 to teach that class. Pretty amazing, right? So you're getting a bonus of $2 and you can be booked in that class up to an hour before the class actually begins. This is where a lot of new teachers have issues. I almost missed my very first VIPKID class because of this reason. I opened up short notice classes, went to bed the night before, and didn't set an alarm because I don't know. I just forgot to set an alarm. So I woke up, and I'm not even exaggerating, I woke up 3 minutes before my class was supposed to begin, and I was freaking out. So don't let this happen to you. So make sure that you are setting an alarm at least a half hour before your class would technically begin so that you can go in and now prep for those classes, look at the materials, understand the student that you might be teaching, the level, and the class itself. Because if you do miss those classes, they're going to dock your pay. And if it's within 24 hours, they'll dock your pay $12. So make sure you're there on time and ready to work. Okay, so you've opened up your time slots and now you wait. Don't just sit there. You have to do something active. You have to get ready. This is a job. You need to make sure that you're actively working towards making money, since pretty sure that's why we're all here. VIPKID offers free workshops that you can take in order to help you grow and develop as a teacher. So there were a couple of different workshops that I found extremely helpful, and the first one is called Marketing Yourself. seems pretty basic, but that workshop was a game changer for me. It helped me to actually increase my bookings just by taking this one workshop. It was super informative. So I highly suggest before you do any other workshop that you take that one. This workshop will help you to create your profile, your video, and how to select those pictures that are going to be showing up to the parents and students. So this is a major must-do workshop for VIPKID. Another workshop that I found to be extremely helpful, the Writing Effective Feedback workshop. So after every single class that you teach, you need to write feedback. This particular workshop helped me to establish a system that I use every single time that I write my feedback. If that workshop is not available to you, or you just want to see something that's a little bit shorter than an hour, I think it might be an hour and a half, that workshop, I've created a video that's actually geared towards narrowing down all the information into one tiny little 10 or 15 minute package. So you can check that out. I will link it here for you. And that will show you how to effectively write feedback in your classroom. Hey guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. Aside from workshops, you should also work on getting different certifications. So since you were probably hired in 2 different levels, levels 2 and level 3. So you want to definitely expand in order to increase your bookings and in order to reach a larger audience of students. So make sure that you go into your certification tab and see what certifications are available to you. Depending on how many classes you've taught, it will allow you to receive more certifications. So this is something that you want to keep your eye out for and always frequently check to make sure that you can add more certifications. One certification that I highly suggest that you get right off the bat would be the trial certification. So what are these classes? These are classes that students are able to take before they actually sign up with VIPKID. So this is their first preview into the platform. What I like about these trial courses is you can have fun with them. So this is a kid that might not have been exposed to VIPKID or any type of digital learning before. So you can make these fun and engaging. And if your student signs up with VIPKID, you get a bonus of $5. So that's pretty awesome on top of the pay that you're already getting. And when I first started with VIPKID, a lot of my trial classes were short notice classes. So now you get the $2 extra bonus, and you could potentially get an extra $5 if the student signs up. Another perk is if that student signs up, generally they're going to take more classes with you. So you can potentially have a regular student sitting right there in front of you. This is a perfect opportunity to increase your bookings and to get started with VIPKID. I briefly mentioned this before, but set alarms. Set your alarm to make sure you know when you're teaching. Honestly, what I do is if I'm opening time slots from 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., I'm making sure that that is my work time. Whether I get my 6 a.m. class booked or not, I still consider myself going to work. And you want to make sure, in addition to you setting alarms, is that you plan for these classes. You're not going into them blind. You know what the slides look like. You know what props you're going to need in order to teach that class effectively. And you're making sure you know how to pace yourself throughout the class. I have a really excellent video that I created as well on how to prep your classes in 5 minutes or less. So I'm going to link that here and down below. Okay, obviously you have your classes booked, you've prepped, you've planned, and now you're starting class on time. This is super important, and I'll tell you why. If you do not show up to your class on time, even if you're a minute or 2 late, your class could be potentially moved to another teacher. So VIPKID doesn't have a subbing system, but sometimes you'll notice on your schedule that it says the student name is to be announced or to be determined, and you don't know exactly what class you're going to teach. This means that you've opted into the VIPKID subsystem. If there's a teacher that shows up late or doesn't show at all or cancels last minute, you can potentially take that class from that teacher. So this is a really important thing to know because you need to be at your class on time. What I like to do, you'll see the countdown window. Once you're in the classroom itself, make sure that you're clicking on the Start Class button within that final 10 seconds. Make sure that when you're starting your class, on that very first slide, you're building rapport with your student. So this is going to help you in a couple of different ways. The first way is, obviously, you get to know your student's name. Sometimes they use their Chinese name in the description, but they have an English name that they want you to know. So just be aware of that and ask them what their name is. And obviously share your name as well. Ask them how old they are. If this is a new student to you, I like to know their age, even though, again, it says it in the description, sometimes it's not the correct age. Plus, you can also see how much language the student knows already. Sometimes I'll ask, how old are you? And I'll hold up fingers to help them understand what I am asking. Some kids will just stare at you blankly, and then you'll know that you need to slow down your lesson a little bit more because that student is not as familiar with the language. Also, you can ask the student, what do you like? And you can hold up various objects. Do you like elephants? This also helps to understand what the student knows. And sometimes they want to just talk to you. So you can find out their interests and gear your lesson towards what they like. I had a student that came to class holding a dinosaur in his hand, and I said, perfect, I have a reward with a dinosaur that I can pull out now. And he was so excited to receive this reward as we went through the class. So it's really great to get to know your student in the beginning of the class. Make sure that you're pacing yourself as you go through the lesson. This is extremely important. So knowing how many slides there are and how long it will take you to get to the end is important because you want to make sure that you are completing all of the slides within the lesson. The parents want to see that their student is hitting all of the objectives before the end of the class. So with certain lessons, you're able to do about a minute per slide, depending again on how many slides there are. In addition to that, you have to make sure that you're giving the student stars. Yes, this is something I didn't know before I started with VIPKID. And I realized that after my first class, that we need to give stars. So these are stars that are digital within the platform that every 5 minutes, for me, I make sure that I give the student a star. This helps with my pacing and I am able to control the flow of the class. So you're giving that student that digital star, they're able to go back into the portal and buy certain things with their stars, and it's something to help them get motivated through the lesson. What I also like to do in addition to giving stars is have an external reward that the student is also going to receive. Doesn't mean that you're mailing them gifts, but you're showing them something. So my go-to all-time favorite external reward is my pick a number reward. So I'll ask the student to pick a number. I'll flip over or take off my Post-it. They receive a star. I give them a digital star, and that's it. Grand old time. Some of them do not have stars there, and it just makes it a fun little game for the student. I also describe this a little bit more in my external reward video that I will link here and down below as well if you want to check that out. So important, probably the most important thing that you're going to do during the lesson is smile. You want to make sure you are smiling throughout the entire lesson. Your face needs to hurt by the end of the lesson. Parents want to see that you are engaging, positive, upbeat, and their child is having a positive experience. Make sure that you end class on time. So for me, I don't like to go any further than 26 minutes. That's just me. You were able to go, I think, to 28, 29 minutes. But I have my classes back to back. I teach 6 classes every morning. So if I went to 28 minutes in between my classes, I would only have 2 minutes to prep for my next class and to get my classroom set up. And if I need to run to the bathroom, I don't have a lot of time to do this. So for me, I stop my lessons at 25, sometimes 26 minutes, and it gives me plenty of time to get through the lesson. Some teachers in the beginning might be a little bit nervous and kind of rush through, and now they're at the last slide and they have 5 minutes left. You can't end class any earlier, otherwise you will get a reduction in your pay. So you should actually be extending throughout the lesson. If you have a student who's extremely bright and you fly through those slides, you're gonna have to pump the brakes and extend. So that means you're teaching them something outside of what the objectives are asking you to do. So if you're teaching colors, red, blue, orange, green, add pink and purple in there as well and teach them something new to kind of slow down the lesson but give them more information. And if this is something that you're struggling with or want to find out a little bit more, I also have a video on how to extend properly for any level that you are teaching, and I will link that down below. So let's talk about payment. You taught all these classes, you're super excited, you did everything you need to do, but now how do you get paid? So if you go into the portal, make sure that you're going under the payments tab and checking out what's happening there. You want to make sure you're getting paid for your classes, and you want to make sure you're setting up your payments properly. So you have the option of getting paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending on your preference. I personally get paid bi-weekly. I find that that works best for me, but it might not always work best for everyone. So make sure that you're making that decision for you. So you can go in and take a look at those and change it accordingly. This is going to be a direct deposit because you are not flying to China every time you want to get paid. So make sure that you're putting in your banking information correctly and that everything is linked up so you can receive your first payment. If you didn't know, the more classes you teach, the more money you make and the higher your bonuses are. So if you go into your payment incentives, you'll see the chart that pretty much now everybody is using with VIPKID. It's on a scale base. You can give yourself your own raises depending on how many classes you teach. I also have a video that describes all of this and how you get paid, and I will link that down below as well. Something that for me, I have not encountered yet because I've been teaching with VIPKID for under a year, is taxes. So you have to make sure you're planning for taxes because taxes are not taken out through the VIPKID portal. When you file your taxes, you have to make sure that you have some money left over from your paychecks in order to pay the taxes that you have not paid throughout the year. But what's awesome about this is I hear that you can claim your internet service, part of your rent, other expenses. So make sure you're keeping track of everything so that you're not getting slammed with a large payment come tax season. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I know there are tons more questions that you might have. I didn't cover everything, but this is just a basic overview of things that you definitely need to know when you're starting with VIPKID. Also, if it's a quick question that you think other people might have, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Let me hear how your first class went with VIPKID. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you'll be the first one to know when I release a new video. Also, if you found this video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Happy teaching!